Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you for joining in onto our virtual club rush. Unfortunately, we can't welcome everyone in person, but we really wanted to mimic the essence of an in-person club rush and bring a piece of campus life to you. So just to get started, my name is Christina Zhang, and I am the next Vice President of Academic Affairs. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm in charge of basically all things academic on campus. But for now, I really want to introduce some of our lovely clubs on campus that have to deal with business and health sciences. So to start, we're going to start off with the SIMBA Club by Camila. And I just would like for you to introduce yourself, your position, what your club does, and anything that you want to highlight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christina. My name is Camila Luna, and I am the ICC representative for the SIMBA Club. SIMBA stands for Students in Media and Broadcasting, and our purpose is to mentor students in skills for careers in television, film, and radio, and just kind of be there for other students as they work to get their degree. We share information, resources, experiences in the film industry. And we recommend courses, provide hands-on experience, and networking opportunities.
Okay, that's great. So, do you have any activities that you want to highlight or any events that your club is thinking of hosting this fall?
Definitely. Previously, before when we were able to come on campus, we did have a live studio production that we would put on every week. Our structure last semester was we'd alternate 1 week with bringing in someone from SIMPTE, which is the kind of like union for people in the film industry. And we'd have guest speakers come in and talk to us about just their experiences in general, any advice they could give us, what their career path has looked like, to provide kind of like a background into what kind of work you're going to be putting yourself into. And then the other week we'd have just general education where we'd teach each other how to set up lights, basic stuff, all in preparation to the PCC news broadcast, which was a simulation of a live studio production. We'd film our 2 news anchors live and then upload that onto YouTube. But unfortunately, we are not able to do that this semester as we are not able to come onto campus. So we have been discussing our online options, which include planning to make a short information on stuff such as 3-point lighting, the careers that are available, specific roles that each person plays in a production, such as a studio director or the camera operators. Basic short videos.
Okay.
We are also planning on creating this series of prompts where we invite people who are in our club to come in, create a video based off our prompts, and then we all come together and helpfully critique it. So we're going to teach these critical evaluation skills and help people build confidence and networking resource within the club.
Okay, and that's great. So then I would like to ask, when do you guys meet and what is your time commitment, and how can people reach out to you if they have any questions about joining the club or they just want to learn more?
For sure. We plan to meet Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon, but attendance is not mandatory. We plan to send out emails on what we're going to do every club meeting. So you can just show up whenever you want. If a topic interests you, you can come that day. If the next meeting you don't really want to learn about, 3-point lighting, you can just skip that meeting. For fall, our virtual activities are going to be planned out. We're still working on that calendar, but you can check us out on LancerLife. That has our links to our Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube page. And yeah, just join us on LancerLife, request a membership, and we'll send you emails.
Okay, and thank you, Camila. So that's our introduction of the SIMBA Club.
Thank you.
And next we have the Economics Club based by Isaac. So I'll have you introduce a little bit about yourself, your position, and your club.
Okay, so hi everyone. I am the president of the Economics Club. I'm actually not. I'm actually pretty new to the club as well. I've been in it for 1 year because I was a freshman upcoming, and so I had the opportunity to speak in front, which is one of the things that we do. We have we have our meetings every Tuesday, and what we do basically is we come together and kind of try to instill and educate each other about just simple economic foundations as well, but also about current issues, current events happening in America, but also globally. So we also talk about the global economy. And I believe that there are a lot of things that our governments are doing, that governments all over the world are doing, where for us as students and also people who aren't in politics or any economic stances, it's kind of hard to understand because it has to do with goals. It has to do with rules that the government's putting, and especially after a global pandemic like this, there's going to be a lot of things to talk about, just in terms of our economy, but also how it's been affecting the world around us as well. I feel like everybody feels it personally, but the most things that we're going to bring up in the upcoming meets are going to be what are the economic implications of what's happening all over the world. And so yeah, we come together, we debate. We usually have a guest speaker for that day to take up about 70% of the time, and then we have the rest of the time to kind of talk to each other about it, on what topic the guest speaker was talking to. And any individual of the club can ask to talk in front. So all you have to do is just have a topic, and to speak about 20 to 40 minutes we ask, and then so that everybody can hear what you have to say about a topic, and then so that we can also debate or have a conversation about it after.
Okay, that's great. So when does your club meet, and what's the time commitment?
Our club meets every Tuesday from 12 to 1.
And that's great. And do you have any last minute remarks for someone who might be a little iffy on joining your club, and they're asking, why should we join your club?
The fun thing about economics is that, yes, it sounds like a boring topic, but it goes from everything that affects us around us and surrounds us. So anything from how you're going to work, to what you do at work, how much you get paid at work, all of that, to what you're doing with your friends, all of that kind of gets tied into econ. It's kind of fun to have a conversation about how politics. I didn't really like politics, but just because of all this weird stuff around it, but just to see how that affects your life, and what our president says, what our politicians are saying, and how that even affects our lives. It's kind of very interesting. And yeah, we try to not put a filter on what we talk about, because I feel like a lot of things, and mostly anything, could fit in the topic of economics if we just approach it at the right perspective. I just feel like we can talk about anything.
All right, thank you. So that is the PCC Economics Club. And next we have the Paralegal Club, led by Elizabeth. So I'd like you to introduce yourself and more about your club.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Wilcox, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay. No. There. So I'm the president of the Paralegal Association on campus. And I've been president since September of 2019. And I believe the club has been around for a very long time, but a lot of the students had graduated, so we had to restart it again. And my goal is to work with the other students and the faculty to support paralegal students for their careers, and also to kind of talk about the program if anyone is like an undecided student and is just curious about what paralegals do or like what the industry is like. A lot of the meetings kind of can give you a taste of like what it's like for students and for people in the profession. And definitely we weren't expecting a year ago that anything like this would happen. But I do know that paralegals are really natural problem solvers, and I mean, we've got this. So the purpose of the club, one of the biggest things that we do is networking opportunities. We have a lot of speakers from various parts of the profession to come in. We have had someone who worked at like NBC Universal talking about like contract law and like getting into the industry of entertainment law. We had the president of the Los Angeles Paralegal Association speaking about like COVID-19 and how that's changed the profession. We have had social events and we're kind of exploring how to do those social events in the future virtually. Last year we did go on a tour of the courthouse and that was really fun. We were able to see the downtown, the LA Superior Court. We were able to actually see some trials and really just have a lot of fun just kind of seeing it in person. And we also try and do some volunteer opportunities. There's a lot of organizations right now that are looking for volunteers to help with paperwork and legal stuff. Also, we did do a food drive last year through PCC, like everyone else. We collected canned foods. And let me see. So again, we sometimes, under normal circumstances, we do law library tours and stuff like that. But again, we're just gonna have to explore what we can do virtually. And there's some really great opportunities that are available. It's just have to be a little creative. And our meetings are held on Saturday at 2 p.m. We usually hold them once a month. They're not at a specific, like the second Saturday, because we have to accommodate our speaker schedules. And until further notice, of course, they'll be held on Zoom. And I'll post a link in the chat to the email sign up list. And if you enter that, I will send you an email with a Zoom link and any like club information. Sometimes I send out, like if I see a free seminar on something, I'll send that out. And my email is e.s.wolcott95@gmail.com if you just want to send me an email. So yeah, that's our club.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. That was very informational. So if you guys want to join the Paralegal Club, please reach out to Elizabeth and sign up on Lancer Life as well. So our next club is going to be the Pineapple Hospitality Club. So that's going to be led by Myra. If you could just give a little introduction about yourself and the club, that'd be great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Myra Nunez. I am the president of the Pineapple Club, which stands for Hospitality and Culinary Management Club. What we do, we are a group of students who want to learn as much as possible about the hospitality industry. Through tours, regular meetings, and guest speakers, our students have the opportunity to create a community. These events enable students to enhance their classroom learning experiences and to foster individual, social, personal, and professional skills. We also provide a means outside of the classroom for students to grow in the culinary field through fundraisers, industry, and special events. Seminars, and discussions as well as to provide a creative outlet for culinary minds alike. What we ask in part of activities, we do have a tour scheduled. We had one scheduled for our past semester, but obviously we couldn't go, so we are trying to reschedule it for this coming fall. We'll see if that happens, but hopefully it will. It's a tour in the Villa, which is accompanied with a pairing from a piece of art through food. So you're able to see how food pairs with art and vice versa. We also focus on etiquette to be able to, be able to carry yourself through the industry, which is very rigorous. And we do a lot of volunteering for low resource programs. We also have a bake sale when it comes to our culinary part of our club. We do meet every other Tuesday from 12 to 1. The classes, the meetings are not mandatory, but we do have to be able to participate in 2 out of our 3 volunteering or tours or any kind of activity that we have, 2 out of 3. And then you could reach me through our Lancer Point.
Okay, that's great. So I guess then my next question would be, would you give us your last thoughts for someone who might be unsure of joining your club, or they want to join your club, but they want to maybe get a little bit more information?
Sure. So if you're into hospitality and culinary, you might have found, well, maybe you haven't, but you will find yourself in a situation where you're not as confident. There's a lot of competition out there, and we work to be comfortable with yourself and your confidence to be better able to go out there once you're ready and be your best. So if you're looking for confidence, if you're a little undecisive, we're here and we work on that with you.
All right, great, thank you. So if you guys want to join the Pineapple Hospitality Club, please go out on Lancer Life and sign up. So the next club that we have is Phi Theta Kappa, led by Steven. So if you can just tell us a little bit more about your club and organization, that'd be great.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Steven. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of PCK Club at PCC. So we are the PCC chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. And before I go into the details of my club, let me give you a brief background of what PTK actually is. So it is this organization has a history tracing back to 1910, so more than 100 years. It is a nationally and internationally recognized honor society for 2 years colleges, and we aim to provide high achieving student scholarships as well as the opportunity to develop leadership skills and network. Also, we are very goal-oriented, and that means we work toward a 5-star chapter plan that helps us gradually increase our chapter's involvement in the organization from locally to the regional level. Eventually, we hope to reach the international level because after all, PTK is an international honor society. So just to give you some statistics to motivate you in terms of joining our club. So I don't know if any of you have heard of the prestigious scholarship called Jack and Cook Scholars last year. So basically that scholarship is, very few people can win that. That's catered towards 2-year college students. But if you win that, most of the prestigious schools will likely to accept you because it's super competitive. So in 2020, actually, only 50 people won that scholarship, and 86% of those who won was a part of PTK, right? So 86%, right? So also private universities like Yale and Stanford ask on their transfer applications if the applicant is a member of PTK, just to give you a perspective of how well known the organization is. And some private universities, they provide exclusive scholarships for PTK members. In fact, NYU, New York University, provided one of our members a $22,500 scholarship simply because that person is a member of PTK, no other question asked. Right? However, to join our organization, there are some requirements. First, we have a minimum GPA of 3.5. So you have to have at least 3.5 GPA to join our club when you join the organization. And also you have to take a minimum of 12 units in spring and fall semesters. Also, our club is by invitation only, so you can apply and we'll review your application. If we think that you are a suitable member, then we would invite you and you would become a member. Okay, so let me talk about what our club does in terms of activity. We're currently finishing our chartering process, and once we are chartered, prospective activities will include, we will work on the 5-star chapter plans, and it has all kinds of activities, including campaigning for the regional office, international office, or we can develop a plan of action based on the local problem identified through research. Also, we would have networking events, guest speakers, and scholarship workshops. So those are just a tiny part of a lot of activities that we will be doing for the fall semester once we finish chartering. We usually meet on Thursday, 12 to 1, but given the current COVID-19 situation, we'll be sending out a Google form so that every member could fill out and we could agree on a time that best suits everyone. And lastly, our club has a website, and the name of the website is very easy. It's called PCCPTK.com. Let me share my screen for a brief moment to show you what it looks like. All right, are you all able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is PCCPTK.com. If you go onto the website, you'll be able to find more about the board, what our organization is, and how to join us, right? So PCCPTK.com, to reiterate, just so everybody remembers. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Stephen. That was very informational. So if you guys want to get some scholarships, please join the Phi Theta Kappa Club. So then next we have the Green Lancer Sustainability Club led by Victor. So if you could just introduce a little bit about yourself and your club, that'd be great. And I'll be sharing my screen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victor, the Vice President of Green Lancer Environmental Sustainability. The purpose of Green Lancer is to raise awareness of environmental issues happening globally and in the local level. We're excited since we have really awesome plans for the fall semester. For example, we will continue to engage with environmental activism and education virtually. We are happy that we have guest speakers who have done incredible work within their own local communities. They've led successful protests where hundreds of people have arrived to organizing community cleanups within their own cities. We also wish to provide all students with meaningful experiences and opportunities.
Okay, is there any activities that you want to highlight or some events that your club is thinking about holding in the fall?
We have a line of speakers, people who are involved with animal rights and linking back to climate justice, people who have led protests, people who have organized cleanups in their communities. We're also going to be working with nonprofits and organizations around Pasadena.
Okay, and then what is the time commitment for your club and when will your club meet?
So as of now, our meetings are set for Monday from 12 to 1, and then attendance is not mandatory. And we'll be posting everything online, like Instagram, Facebook, and emailing them to people.
Okay, all right, thank you. So next we are going to have the Pre-Law Club led by Kyle. So if you could just give a little background about your club. And I know this is a new club, I believe, so take it away.
Yep. So we started a pre-law club up this year. I am a current sophomore at PCC, and I realized some things when I came here that were lacking. Even though we have we have a paralegal club, we have no pre-law club. And let me explain the difference between the two. So we have a paralegal club for people who want to go into the paralegal industry. It's specifically chartered and made for those individuals. We have nothing for somebody who says, I want to go to law school, even though there's some overlap between the two different clubs. So the whole point of creating a pre-law club is learn by seeing and learn by doing model. So we're going to have speakers, lawyers who are in the industry come and talk to you about what it's actually like to be a lawyer. They're not going to sugarcoat it and tell you, you make a ton of money, it's no hours, you're going to see your family all the time. That's not the law. They're going to tell you what the reality is, how to achieve it, and what they did wrong. Not what they did right, what they did wrong. Everything we're going to be doing in the club is specifically catered to the students. That's the seeing part. And on the doing side, we're going to be having competitions through mock trial. This is going to show students if they are actually willing to be a lawyer in the litigation standpoint, whether they're willing to put in the hours of research needed, to put in the time going to the courthouse, and actually have the articulated ability to proceed well in the courtroom environment. So specifically, our club's going to be focusing on seeing and doing. And those are the two pinnacles of our education under the law model. So anybody interested in seeing that or trying it out and wondering if they are actually wanting to become an attorney should very seriously consider joining the pre-law club. Similarly to PTK or Phi Theta Kappa, we do not have any current time for meetings because of this whole pandemic. We had previously set out Tuesday from 12 to 1 as our meeting time, but since then, everything has changed, so to say. So we're going to similarly send out a Google form to all our members when the fall actually begins to create a time which will be best for everybody. Because this is a club which should be focusing on all of its members, and that is what we intend to be doing. And that is the pre-law club. So think about it.
All right, great. So any aspiring lawyers, please join the pre-law club. So then actually our next club will be the Caduceus Club led by Amanda. So you can take it away.
Hello, my name's Amanda. I'm the social liaison of Caduceus Club. And our whole purpose of this club is to just help club members gain experience and help out their background in the medical field. And we do this by providing learning opportunities just to go out and figure out what's going on. And we do this by having guest speakers talk about their own path in the medical field, their own experience. We also have unis come in, talk about what they offer. And we also have education plans to just help out. But right now, we're mainly gonna have guest speakers every 2 weeks on Thursdays, 12 to 1. But we did host CPR classes and blood drives, which really just helped our club members be hands-on. And we also offer, we did offer club members to go to City of Hope to have a tour of the hospital, which is really, for me, I went and it was really eye-opening of the field. So yeah.
That's great. So I guess then I would just ask, what kind of students are you trying to target? And are there any last minute thoughts for anyone who's kind of unsure of joining this club?
We're really trying to targeting students to that may be iffy on their own major or students that want to expand their own resume for future jobs, for transferring, and yeah.
All right, thank you. So if any other clubs have some last minute remarks, but other than that, this is our little introduction of some clubs here on campus. So if you guys want to join all or just one of these clubs, please visit LancerLife.com to sign up for these clubs and receive updates. And I hope for the best for the rest of the semester, and I hope these clubs will allow you to gain professional and personal experiences that you can take on with you. So thank you, everyone.